So this is Sudeley Castle in the Cotswolds. This was the home of Henry VIII's final wife, Catherine Parr. It's a very hot day today, about 28 degrees, going up to 31 later. But there's a lovely breeze blowing at the moment. So this building over here is the tithe barn, where they would have stored all the tithes or taxes that used to be paid. So inside Sudeley Castle, and there's a little bit of history to tell you. So the Patella family were in the Wars of the Roses, and they didn't leave any heirs. It's all on the notice board here, but I'll say just a few little snippets. And the widow married Edward IV, but he then lost interest in her. And in those days, if you married somebody and your husband decided that he didn't like you and he was rich, he'd whack you in a nunnery, which wasn't the most glamorous place to go. Nice little medieval staircase there, going right the way up. Beautiful old building. So this house has got quite an illustrious history. It goes right back to, well, before the Wars of the Roses. It was a Lancastrian house, which of course was get my history right now, the side that won the Wars of the Roses. And then of course we know Henry VII married Elizabeth of York and united the two families, created the Tudor Rose. And everybody lived happily ever after, except they probably did, well, they didn't, did they? Because Henry VIII was a bit of a complicated soul, as we all know. I've got some Tudor costumes here, which are Henry VIII and his 6 wives. Catherine of Aragon, our Sweet Round, Anne Boleyn, Jane Seymour, Anne of Cleves, Catherine Howard, and Catherine Parr, who was the occupant of this house. And there's Henry there, looking quite short and rather large. He was 6 foot tall, so he's a little bit short there. Divorced, beheaded, died. Divorced, beheaded, survived. And the musical 6 is well worth going to see. Quite interesting, because the wives are all nearly as tall as Henry, and he was huge. There's lots of artefacts. These little portraits are quite famous. Right there, a lock of Catherine Parr's hair. Oh, I didn't know that. It's an interesting bit of racy history. So Catherine Parr survived Henry VIII, lucky lady. She then married Thomas Seymour, the big family that were basically in charge. They did very well after Henry died. She got pregnant, and then she caught him frolicking in bed with their royal house guest, Princess Elizabeth, who was sent away. And I think I'm right in saying that Catherine Parr died about a year after Henry VIII. Some more Tudor mannequins, amazing costumes. Just imagine wearing all this clothing in this heat. It's 31 degrees outside today, you'd melt. But they didn't go. The rich people in Tudor England wouldn't go near the sun because it was considered very, very common. There's some amazing artefacts here in this castle. There's this Charles I's waistcoat. Must have been a dapper little chap to wear something that small, mustn't he? And what have we got over here? We've got a robe, a christening robe worn by Queen Elizabeth I. Look at that. And then some Civil War armour. The castle became the headquarters of Prince Rupert. So Prince Rupert was the royalist nephew of Charles I. And he basically controlled the royalist forces during the Civil War. So lots of Civil War. There's lots of Civil War activity in this region of England anyway. And then by the 18th century, Sudeley starts to fall down and was just left and neglected. But became a tourist attraction as a ruin, because the Victorians really liked their ruins. They used to have sort of follies and things put in their gardens, sort of fake ruins. Oh, do come and have a look at my chapel, which wasn't real. It was just a pile of bricks made to look like a church. And then the glove maker, William Dent, looking for a restoration project, found the castle, bought it, and turned it into a lovely house. That must have cost a fortune, mustn't it? Glad it was restored though. And we're in the bedrooms now. So this is your sort of classic Victorian bed. Oh, I didn't know that. So these bed covers were used for Marie Antoinette, who of course was the famous little meat cake lady who was married to King Louis XVI, living at Versailles, France, just before the Revolution. She famously didn't understand how poor people were and how much they were struggling. I don't know whether she said let them eat cake, but it's a good story, isn't it? What's really nice about historic houses is that you can walk into rooms and you haven't got anyone in there who wants to tell you stuff that you might not want to know. I'm not going to mention the organisation that does that because they have some beautiful properties in England, but I quite like being left to just get on with it and not have to ask people questions. There's lots of information boards everywhere anyway, so it tells you lots of useful little facts about the house and what it would have been like. So this is the sort of homely part of the castle, 19th century onwards. I don't know how well you can see that, but there's a photo there. Shows the ruinous state of the castle in 1895, so it was a long time before it was all done up. Here we are, Emma Dent, so she was one of the owners. Dressing room. Just imagine having a room this size just for putting your clothes on. Not bad, is it? Right, we're on a haunted staircase. Oh, I love a haunted staircase. Right, so let's have a look. Let's focus in on this lady here who looks suitably terrified. She's seen a ghost. So apparently there were ghosts here. Housemaids at SUDELEY reported that they had seen ghosts on this staircase, and it is now known as the haunted staircase. Apparently no recent sights. How disappointing. Here we are, look. There's a ghostly lady. Whoa. And another one. Oh, now I must show you that. That is a man trap. So landowners used to worry about people poaching, pinching their rabbits. So that was to capture men. I'm not supposed to be filming, so I'm whispering. That is a royal toilet, the Queen's privy. It's got a padded seat. And there was a lady employed to wipe her bottom. And there she is, looking out of the window, thinking, there's a wedding today, I wonder when it's going to start. Lady Anne Herbert, that's who she is. She's the lady in waiting who used to look after the Queen's bottom, Catherine Parr. This room is dedicated to personal hygiene. Just imagine how comfortable it would be sitting on that toilet